Nuclear Clown TV is all kinds of live and all kinds of on the air and present and here for your needs, whatever they may be. I'm your radiated host, Dave, and today I'm going to give a little bit of a kind of a late review on Shutter Island. I saw Shutter Island actually a few weeks ago, and due to my hectic schedule of sleep and rampant masturbation, I just didn't get around to reviewing it. So I'm going to do that now. As always, because I'm about quality, I'm going to give you my spoiler-free review up front. Shutter Island, you skip it. Don't go see it if you're curious about it. This isn't a type of movie that I would see. Normally I'm into movies that are for people with far lower intelligence than the average person. It's kind of like the mystery thriller type deal, and I don't really... I'm not really too into that. I like movies that are fun and have, boobs in them and stuff. But recently, the past few times I've ventured out into the great glowing wasteland world out there and saw a movie, I haven't been too pleased. I've been disappointed. My reviews of movies haven't been all that great. They've either been bad or kind of just blah. So I thought, well, maybe it's your taste, Dave. Maybe I sat down and I looked at myself in the mirror, and after I was done getting sick, I thought, maybe it's you. Maybe it's your taste. Think outside the box and go see a movie that you normally wouldn't see. And Shutter Island is that movie. From the previews, it kind of gave me like a sort of Resident Evil type, Silent Hill mystery sort of vibe to it. So I thought, okay, this is a good compromise. It's not something I'd normally see. So let's try it out. So I marched over there to the movie theater and I went and I saw it. And all in all, I'd say skip it. That's my spoiler-free review. It's not all that helpful. But, sorry. So now let's get to spoiler review. If you've seen the movie, you know the big twist at the end. And movies like this are kind of like, they hinge on that twist. That's really their selling point. When you see it, you're like, ooh, I wonder what the big thing is going to be at the end. Because this cannot be as it seems. And sure enough, there is this big twist at the end. That is really far-fetched. Leonardo DiCaprio is a federal marshal, and he's partnered up with this new guy to go take a look at this sanitarium on an island where one of the patients has disappeared. So he's going to go and try to find this person and all that. But whoa, things aren't what they seem. It turns out that Leonardo DiCaprio, at the end, the big thing you find out, turn off the video now if you don't want to know this. I'm not... You think I'm kidding? I'm going to tell you the big secret. So, go to Google or go to another site. Stop this if you don't want to... Alright, you think I'm kidding? Fine. Alright, fine. It turns out that Leonardo DiCaprio was actually a patient who made up this whole federal marshal business in his head and is kind of, delusional because he was witness to some horrible... his wife drowned their kids or something, so he made up this whole make-believe world for himself where he's this federal marshal. But that's not all. The staff, headed by Sir Ben Kingsley, they tried to help him with drugs and medication and all this, and it wouldn't seem to break him out of his dream world. So here's what they did. They had him act out this fantasy and included everyone on the island that he's a federal marshal, and this radical treatment is supposed to cure Leonardo DiCaprio because once he finds out that he's not really a federal marshal and that it is a figment of his imagination, he's supposed to be better. There's something wrong. Like, they give him a fake gun at the end. His gun is fake. They give him a fake gun. His partner is actually his doctor. And everyone on the island is in on it and playing along with this little game. There's a few things wrong with this. You mean to tell me that they sat everybody down from the staff to the patients and said, talk, because he's interviewing other patients, and they're playing along like he's really a marshal when they know he's not. So you mean everybody's in on it, and nobody breaks this big charade, and they're going to give him free reign on the island, knowing that he's crazy, to try to cure him with this radical cure? I mean, he goes, he's like beating people up and hitting people with rifles, and you know, like, he's climbing up mountains. He could get hurt and die. He could just run and escape. But they leave him to his own devices, and, you know, his partner, or his therapist slash partner, is supposed to be with him the whole time. But a lot of the movie, he's by himself. And, you know, and you could say, well, Dave, a lot of this is his hallucinations. But they never really tell you in the movie if, like, I mean, he has his obvious hallucinations. But they don't tell you, like, well, this part is made up, and that didn't really happen, which is lazy storytelling, and it's just trying to, you know, like, to cover up the plot holes with, oh, he's crazy, you know, crazy will cover it, crazy will do you, and I hate that. It reminds me of that episode of The Simpsons. I don't remember much about it, but it was like Homer did something wrong, and to make him learn a lesson, the entire town of Springfield did this whole big drama play, and, like, at the end, he was in a courtroom and somebody died and all these people got shot or something, and then Homer was freaking out, and then they were like, did you learn your lesson? We fooled you. And that was funny because that was supposed to be a joke that everyone would go through those insane lengths to try to teach Homer a lesson. That's exactly how I felt with Shutter Island. Like, yeah, fucking right. They're gonna go through all that and, you know, like, ferry him in, and do the whole introduction, knowing that he's just acting, playing a federal marshal. Oh boy, wow. The movie actually wasn't that bad to start out. You're sitting there and you're like, well, I really want to know what's going on here. You know, this is really good. But it was long, real long, and then they kind of tell you the twist, and then it keeps going. It's not like, ooh, big twist, movie ends. It's big twist, and we keep going for like another 10 or 15 minutes. And I don't think that works with any movie at all. You know, you blow your load and then you go home. You don't stand around and talk about what's on your mind. And I don't know. I thought that it was really far-fetched. I mean, see, this would be much more easier to buy if he was constricted to one part of the island or one unit in the island, where you could kind of believe that he's locked in there, but it's for his own safety. So when you find out at the end the big twist, you're like, okay, well, that kind of makes sense. I mean, I could see how that's possible if you isolate someone and everyone's in on it. But the whole island, really, everybody's playing along with this game. If I was one of the other prisoners, I'd be like, what the fuck? He thinks he's a federal marshal. Well, I think I'm Conan. So why don't you give me a big-ass sword and let me roleplay my fantasy out here? I'd be pissed off. I'd be jealous. I would be Trey jealous if that happened. But that was really silly, and I don't know. I thought it was kind of dumb and really, really unbelievable. And the movie was really, really long. And I don't have anything against long movies if they have to be, but when a movie's long and it feels long, problem. Yeah, so Shutter Island, I gotta say no to Shutter Island. I didn't really, I didn't like it, and the big twist at the end didn't help anymore. Also, they did this on purpose. I think Leonardo DiCaprio is a great actor. He's really good, but I can't get past him looking like a little Weasley kind of kid. Like, he just looks so small and young, and he's supposed to play this World War II veteran federal marshal. But I guess you could say, like, well, Dave, he's not a World War II marshal. You know, he's crazy. So maybe they did that on purpose, you know, to kind of add to the flavor of the twist, which it was a good idea, because as soon as I saw him, I was like, he doesn't look like he fits in with this whole federal marshal thing. But really, he's not. So, I mean, I guess you can't really... I guess it's a good thing, but I just through the whole movie until the end, you're kind of like, he doesn't really fit this role too well. He does a great job acting, as always. But, yeah. So, Shutter Island, shut the door on it. If you're going to see Shutter Island, open the door to leave, and then shut it. Shutter Island. Shutter Island. Nuclear Clown TV. Woo!